Hello! It's us again. We are back. Episode 5 EDM podcast. Let's go. What's up, guys?
Not much. What's happening, yo?
Hey.
Oh, look at that.
That's all
Catch. Catch got a new mic sounding all professionally.
You can hear the words that I say. What?
He doesn't sound like a tin can anymore.
I can't wait to edit this in post.
Can, but by the way, just like, you know, when you were counting, you said 5, 4, 3. What happened to 2 and 1? There's that something like...
You never count 2 and 1 before you hit record. You're supposed to do like fingers. You just do fingers of 2, fingers of 1. That way nothing picks it up.
So you use 2 fingers. Got it.
Sure.
In the entertainment business, they always visually count down the last 2, so nothing gets picked up on when the mics go live.
Yep.
Got it.
So this week we are taking a trip back in time. We are going to revisit when we all first got into gaming, and I don't know who wants to go first, but this is a lengthy topic, and I want to give a shout out to Wind Kid who suggested this theme. Good job, man.
Wind Kid.
Thank you, Win Kid. You rock. Thank you for always posting comments too. Super active member of the community.
He is.
Woo!
He is.
I think I get a sticker from me.
Also, John Xanadu, is that his name?
Yes, John Xanadu.
You guys rock. Okay.
Yep. John Xanadu posts literally every video with the timestamps of the part of the video that he's referencing, which is freaking gold star right there.
He's dedicated.
He gets 2 stickers from me. Count 'em. 2 stickers. 2.
All right, who wants to go first?
I think I'll go first because I don't like following people.
Oh, okay.
So I guess I'll just start by saying, like, I think everybody knows that. Okay, so I was born in '85, and basically the first console, obviously, that was present during that time was the NES. And I don't think anybody wants to hear how I got started on Mario and Excite Bike and
No.
Duck Hunt.
No, tell us all about of those those things.
Okay, so I guess I can start with Super NES and Chrono Trigger, but I'll go even further than that and say when I truly went hardcore was obviously when I got the PlayStation and I started playing the Final Fantasy series. And of course it started with 7 because 7 made its debut on the PlayStation. That was the first time that I had actually like gone super like hardcore on a game ever. I was sitting there playing for hours on end. It was the first time I had talked back to my parents saying, "Let me save first." And
yes. You need to save.
Man, throwback to like memory cards. I remember.
Oh my gosh, you alright?
When memory cards like corrupted on you and you were like, no.
It was the end of the world. You're like, no, don't do this to me. I've lost everything.
That was the first game that I played hardcore, and then it went and it spiraled into, you know, Final Fantasy VIII, Final Fantasy IX, all of the Final Fantasies. And then I got Chrono Trigger on the PlayStation, which was even better because it was anime form.
Heck yes. DBZ.
I actually didn't play any DBZ on the PlayStation. That was strictly...
Well, I mean, the art of Chrono Trigger is the same as Dragon Ball Z. That's what I was referencing.
Akira Toriyama. You guys are going to force me to start Googling. I should have prepared better.
You didn't take notes? What?
You didn't come with a leaflet?
Listen, you took a nap.
series of
I
note
took a nap.
cards.
Well, I came home.
I just came from
and I was
dinner.
just done. Should we take a nap later?
It started with Final Fantasy.
Should you take a nap together?
Gosh, what else did I play on the PlayStation? There were so many things that I played on the PlayStation. Oh shit. Fahrenheit? No, that was PS2. But basically, it started on the PlayStation, and that's where it started. But essentially, I had before that, I was, you know, a little into gaming with the Genesis. I was playing Michael Jackson's Thriller. or wait, it wasn't Thriller. It was Moonwalker, and then you know, Golden Axe, Double Dragon. Well, that was on the NES. Afterburner, Burnout, all of those games. Road Rage. Has anybody played Road Rage at all?
No, I never did.
I played Vigilante 8. That's about as far as it goes.
Oh yeah, that's also what I played on the PlayStation. Shouts out to Vigilante 8 and Twisted Metal. Oh my gosh. All of those multiplayer games with, like, you know, destroying your friends and stuff. That was pretty epic. So that's about it for me. I think I'm gonna end it early.
Was it
because
Unreal?
It was.
Monica, go home.
She is, isn't she? Isn't she recording at home?
I am home.
Well, I know you guys are gonna go off on, especially Monica. She's gonna go off on a tangent, so I'm gonna end my segment there and give you guys a couple little extra minutes to fill in on your end in terms of where you got started.
I want to say ladies first, but I know Monica's gonna go off for like at least the rest of the podcast.
Hey. No, I won't.
Right.
I'll be good.
All right,
ladies first, Monica.
Okay, so here's the skinny.
3 hours later. I'm just kidding.
I played like really childish games first, like the Magic School Bus. But when we got a computer in the house, my mom likes to tell this story. Like, the neighbor came over once and she brought her daughter with her, and they were like, "Monica, look at this kid," and I had my eyes glued to the screen, and I was just like, uh-huh. My mom was like, "When she's not on the computer, she's super friendly, I swear. Monica, come say hi." And I was like, "In a minute, Mom, let me save." But like, that was the kind of stuff I played. My brother, I have a brother who's 13 years older than me, and for the most part, I just watched him play video games. Like, that's how we bonded. All of my video game experience was like from day one, from being born, was my brother playing like the Genesis, Super Nintendo, all of those crazy consoles, and then the Nintendo 64, and then the PlayStation. But when he got married, I didn't really see him anymore, and his now ex-wife sort of stole him away from me, so I spent the time that I used to spend with him playing things like G.I. Joes. He had a bunch of G.I. Joe figurines, so we would play house with his G.I. Joe figures.
Wow.
Yeah, it was really good. He had one
Hey,
female
Cobra Commander,
character.
how's your pancakes?
Yep, yeah, pretty much. He had one female character, and there was like a German Shepherd war dog, and so that was the dog of the family. And then like the one female character was the mom. It was really funny. I'm surprised he ever actually like played with me. Like, he would sit down and play house with me. But anyways, when he left was when I started picking up video games, and I don't know what the real first game was. It was probably when I got the Game Boy Advance that I really started becoming a gamer. So that was around the time that my brother went away, and that was the only way that I could really reconnect with him or feel like he was around, was to play video games, because that was his favorite thing, and all of our fun memories together was when he was playing video games. Like, he would play anything I wanted, even if he had a bunch of guy friends over. He would be like, "Monica, what do you want me to play?" And I'd be like, "Can you play The Little Mermaid?" And he'd be like, "You got it." And a bunch of 20-year-olds are like, "What?" So that was why I picked up video games.
Interesting.
Still got time left. Cool though.
Yeah. See.
Well, she
Kingdom
talks a lot,
Hearts
but
was
she
probably
also-
the
She
first
also
one.
talks fast.
Yeah.
That's true.
So hopefully everybody got that.
So-
Put it on
Took the
slow mo
longest.
if you didn't. I think Kingdom Hearts though was like the first game that I ever sat down and put like a good couple 100 hours into.
Yeah.
Yeah. That
I
was
think
it.
that's the case for most people nowadays.
Yeah.
Sadly.
That was the first one. Kingdom Hearts is amazing, yo.
Oh,
I'm
I
just picking
can't
at you.
wait. I can't wait for Catch's segment, and all I hear is Fallout.
You would be wrong, actually. I will
Oh.
surprise you guys. Actually, this is
All
going to be a
right.
lot different.
If you come out,
Okay.
if you come into this and say that the first game you played was Harvest Moon, I will actually be surprised.
Well, it wasn't Harvest Moon, I'll tell you that. But for me, I got into games, well, hardcore really late, but I guess the very first beginning was when I was really little. And I guess apparently I was doomed from the start to be in games because my mother secretly plays games, but she doesn't like to admit it to people. And my father, he just collects he had a stack as tall as me, like a stack of CD cases as tall as I was.
Nice.
So it's like a 4-foot child, you know, he's got a 4-foot stack of PS2 games. So we were doomed from the start. And
That was the beginning of the end.
yeah, and two of my uncles and my grandfather are software and computer engineers, so it's like I had no kind of way to get out of it. But anyway, I started off, kind of close to Monica. I was like the supporting character. I would do a lot of the research as far as reading the manual and stuff while my brother played the games, and I would just kind of watch. The first system we got was a N64. So like I said, we're pretty late, as far as getting Genesis, Ataris, or anything like that. It was an N64. And it was playing, Mario Kart, WWF No Mercy. As you guys know, I'm obsessed with wrestling. So yeah, for me, playing wrestling games was that was my crack. It was WWF No Mercy and WCW versus NWO Revenge. Those are the games I actually played. As far as anything else, it was just watching my brother. He left the house. Or left, my immediate family and did his own thing after we moved to California. And I never had my own game system until until I turned 16 actually. So that's when I got an Xbox 360. So like I said, I am very late to the gaming community, but I've gone back and just absorbed the stuff I
Fallout.
missed as far as yeah, but actually like I said but the first game that I got super into, and literally I could tell you that I lost a lot of respect for my peers because I didn't care what you thought at that point. I was going to go to school, do my homework in class, leave, go home, not touch anything else regarding chores, work, anything, and play this game. And that was Morrowind. So my 7th grade, my brother was still in the house at this point, but if he wasn't using the Xbox, I certainly was. And I was playing Morrowind from sunup to sundown if possible. And that literally was for the entire duration of my 7th grade. When I tell you that I feel like no one has beaten as much as Morrowind as I have, I'm not kidding you at all. All the DLC, I can't remember any quest I didn't pick up except for the Mages Guild because I don't like mages. Sorry for anyone who plays a mage in any game. I feel like a well-placed arrow just makes you not relevant anymore. That's all I'm saying.
I feel
agree.
like Catch and I are complete opposites in
I
everything.
feel like we are.
I'm like,
the-
excuse me, I am a mage, and you're like, I hate mages.
The superpower discussion is going to be interesting.
Yeah. I don't hate them. I just find them the NPC mages in any Elder Scrolls game tend to just kind of tick me off, and I'm just like, you know what? I have a bow. So forget your fireball. My arrow's going to travel farther, and I'm going to hit you between the eyes. And usually that's kind of how it happens. And I'm just like, what's the point of being a mage when I can just kill you right out physically?
Well, I mean, there's something really satisfying about being a mage with a two-handed axe. And if there's a mage causing you problems, you just switch weapons, run up, and skull crush.
Well, my thing is
then one could argue that
use
that's not a mage, right? That's
no,
No,
what I
it's
was
a
gonna
battle
say.
mage. No, that's a battle
Okay,
mage.
well, battle mages, yes, they're
'Cause I
effective.
still-
It's
Well, no, because I still focused solely on magic, but I had a secondary double axe skill because to do just mage is kind of dumb. There are going to be things that you can't kill.
Yeah, that's what I'm going after there, you know.
Yeah, I do usually do battle mage if I can. If not, I just go full mage.
There is a defense. There is a defense, though. I mean, most mages will walk around in hostile territory with shields and barriers. And I'm going off of like Warcraft mage style. So if anybody plays WoW, you know what I'm talking about. You're walking around with your frost shield or your mana shield. And so if somebody has a bow and they shoot the arrow, blink, it goes off the shield. You're kind of, you kind of give away your position. Then you just put up a new shield and aim straight for you.
Nah, bro, we're in sneak mode. We don't give away our position.
Come on,
If you fire a bow and your position's been given up, then you're a terrible archer. I'm just gonna throw that out there right now.
I don't know. You don't need to be a mathematician to kind of, reverse trajectory, trace it back.
I mean, the class is legitimate in itself. Like, if you play a pretty good mage, then you play a good mage. Like, even Elder Scrolls talk about good mages, that come through and that are formidable. But I mean, just for the generic, I'm kind of like, I'll just use a bow.
Okay, well, back to your gaming history.
Bows will take you. Yeah, bows will take you far.
Yeah, okay. I'm not sure if that's a pun or not, but I'm skipping over it.
No, I guess it could, yeah.
But yeah, so like I said, we had an original Xbox after that, and so I pretty much got my start with Nintendo. Went from the N64 to the GameCube. Had the GameCube for quite some time. Like I said, I'd play supporting character, just watch my brother do all this stuff, and make sure he doesn't go around these stupid paths, and tell him to look everywhere, because he kind of just played linearly, and I was kind of the one thinking like, well, what about over there? What about over there? And then eventually, like I said, it was kind of just me in the house, and I was like, I kind of want a gaming system because I'm just playing computer games at this point. I was like, I'm missing a lot. So got a 360, and I was just like, oh, cool. And then, other than Morrowind, once I think I got Oblivion and then Skyrim, and then it was Battlefield 3 where it became now, Mom, don't touch my TV or my game system because I have a save going or I'm paused and I didn't save it. It was just, that's when it got nasty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. When you leave your windows open for 2 days straight just until November 11th, so it's cold enough to say you're playing in Skyrim like immersively in the real world, that's how you know you've gone too far. So that's pretty much it for me.
When you actually wait instead of fast forward time, you wait for 3 hours. You're on a quest. You're on a quest to kill somebody that only shows up at night, and so you wait all those hours instead of actually pressing the wait button, and you're just like sitting there at your computer just waiting like a little hermit or whatever, and you're just like, I'm gonna get this guy, I'm gonna get this guy. Nobody
I had to do that. Me. I'm sorry, I've had to do that in Oblivion, because when you're in enemy territory you can't press wait, you can't speed up time.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're totally right.
I've had to do that in Oblivion for some quests where I arrived too early and it was like, okay, now you need to come back at 6 p.m. and I was like, dang it, it's like 8 in the morning. So I just put my controller down and then go read a book.
Well, I never had to wait, but there was the mission in Skyrim for Dark Brotherhood where you pose as the chef, right, and you're trying to kill the emperor for the first time, and it's basically a setup, asterisk sets you up to kill. If you haven't played it, spoiler alert, but you guys should have played it by now. That's anyone listening as well. If you haven't, shame on you. But wow. you're in solitude, and you find it's a setup, and they pretty much chase you out of town. So my game glitched, and it was like the guards were constantly following you, so I couldn't fast travel back to. The city name escapes me. It wasn't Riften. Where the Dark Brotherhood station? Falkreath. So I'm sitting there just like, how do I, get back? I literally, my character sprint from, Solitude across the map to get back. And it was at least worth almost, I think, 20 minutes of real time of just running through Skyrim, just like, eventually the guards will stop chasing me. Eventually they'll stop chasing me. Eventually I'll find my horse. And it never happened. So I'm sitting here just like, well, I guess I'm going to actually run this whole thing,
So it never occurred to you to jump in the water?
I did, actually. And again, the guards were chasing you, and you can't wait in water, so it was pointless. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna run and sprint and just do this. And I was like, and I stole a horse on the way, so it was even funnier. So I was like, you know, I kind of replaced the guy in the Thieves Guild who was named, you know, they laughed at for running from city to city. So I'm like, well, there you go.
Yep, that's it.
Wow.
It reminds me of like Fable when they'd call the character like Chicken Chaser.
See, I knew it was gonna turn into.
They're like, "Yep, there's the runner."
It would have been easier if you were Flash. I just remember.
You guys are breaking out.
Darkovika's Flash videos.
I can't hear you guys. What was everything you just said in the last like 10 seconds? Because I didn't hear it.
I just
It'd
said.
be easier if you were Flash.
Yep. Everything would be easier if we could just be Flash.
Well, you actually have the Flash mod on yours, so.
Yeah, that's true. I was playing Skyrim as the Flash, and it was friggin' awesome.
I'm gonna have to give that a try.
It's really good. There's a couple other superhero ones. I think the same person did them.
Okay, well, segue. Speaking of superheroes, isn't that the next topic too?
It is, but we still have a couple minutes.
No?
Or let you go on?
I
can always add. Oh, go
I wanted
ahead.
to say that I knew it was gonna devolve into Skyrim and Oblivion.
It always does with
Eventually.
me, though.
That's because all of us like Skyrim.
You know, it's kind of like that's my bread and butter of gaming. Like if I need to get away from everybody and just pretend like this world doesn't exist, I'm like, which Elder Scrolls game fits my mood the best? If I want to be actually, so I lied a little bit. In Morrowind, I played a Nightblade, which is, you know, half thief, half mage. You know, you illusion match. But in Morrowind, being a mage is actually quite destructive because there's a combination of spells that pretty much make you invincible, and that's what I did. So I did play a mage. So I was like, if I feel like just blowing people to bits with a fireball that took out an entire city, because I maxed out the range on a fireball, you know, the radius, blast radius, you could. So
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. My Morrowind foul is quite nasty. He can do anything he wants to, and I'm just like,
I thought you hated mages.
That's what I'm saying. That's the one, like, it's the low key, like, I did play a mage once and it was awesome. But even then, I started out as a lowly thief. So there you go. But any subsequent game or any current game, I will never probably play a mage ever again.
Wow. Strong words from Catch. He's running for president for 2016.
No more mages is what am I battling? You know, that's my running platform.
It's an effective one.
Yeah, no more mages, so the Aldemir Dominion gets, you know, tossed aside. So the Imperials should like that, or at least Skyrim will. You know, so the Nords will follow me.
You'll definitely pander to the crowd that, you know, wants to burn witches at the stake still to this day.
Oh my gosh.
I think it was either a joke or an article I read. Somebody, a traveling magician passed through a town and they burned him alive because they thought it was a witch, and it was like in the last 20 years. It wasn't during Salem or whatever.
Really?
Yeah.
I have no comment.
Oh my
for that
god,
kind of
that's friggin' terrifying.
Yeah.
You know, but if you ever
Progress.
take a look, just take a look around the way some of the people, I wouldn't say speak, because, you know, regional dialect is a thing, but people who try to be proper or politically correct and the fails that come from that, you look at that and then you kind of look back at what people do, you're like, well, it's not too far-fetched today, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, it's that poor guy, though, you know, that's terrible in itself, because being burned alive isn't remotely funny, you know?
Especially, like, you could only imagine what he was showing them, and then kind of contrast that with how witches were viewed. Like, I'm imagining he's coming through town. He's like, hey guys, here's some card tricks. Witch, burn him! Burn him!
That's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, he does a simple card trick, you know, and you're just like, oh my god, witch, burn him! And you're like, dude, you could Google this stuff.
And he's like, no, it's in my sleeve. It's in my sleeve. Wait.
You know, it's like, that's unfortunate, you know. But stupidity knows no bounds.
Oh yeah, it doesn't.
Like, I read a tweet. I was watching a video with some people, and it was like, I'm tired of all the school shootings. in the U.S., so I'm gonna leave and move to Alaska. And I was just like, you do realize that's a state, right? It was heartbreaking for me.
Yep.
Yeah. I didn't know what to say about that. I was just like, yikes.
That's
poor
like
girl.
That's like Palin-esque type. I have a foreign relations experience.
I have skills in the
Russia
relations
is
of the
in my
foreign.
backyard.
Guys, I have the Ireland. It's here. I have the Ireland.
Listen,
Terrible.
I know how to govern an office because I shot a moose from a helicopter.
And you know what?
That's good.
You know what the real issue here is in this country? Polar bears. And that's Sarah Palin.
Sorry to get political on you guys. No disrespect if anybody is a Sarah Palin supporter, but I highly doubt it if you watch Darkovika. But anyway.
You know, to each his own opinion, even if it's wrong. Just kidding.
Yes. Widely accepted as wrong. I don't know.
But we're not about offending people. We're just about poking fun. So if you truly are a Sarah Palin indoctrinated one, you know, good for you. Like I said, free thinking. It's good.
How did we get into politics?
I don't know, but we go
yeah,
on
I don't know.
tangents.
Yep.
There's no telling.
We got a couple minutes. Who wants to talk about like anything kind of recent in terms of gaming?
Ooh, I want to.
Whoa.
Just because you
Ooh.
mentioned
Okay.
it.
Enthusiasm.
So-
Got very
Express
excited.
coming
Yeah.
through town. Tickets are $2
So-
each.
So yesterday, I finished my compilation of all my New Vegas mods. I voiced a vendor to sell everything, and it's done.
Nice.
It's been posted, and within the first 2 days or the first couple hours, I got 2 endorsements and about, I think, 50 downloads. So I was like, cool. It was
Nice.
awesome.
Number
Yeah,
one on
so-
iTunes and everything.
Woo!
I wouldn't say that far because I use Apple products. So
It's just a metaphor.
bless you.
Ooh.
Thank
Your
you.
mom goes to college.
I'm keeping that in the podcast.
That sneeze.
Excuse me.
Oh my goodness.
It's okay.
It's allergy season in Monica's room.
Are you kidding me? I sneeze literally all the time. This is going to go on for the next like 10 minutes. If I have a couple
I'm so
seconds,
sorry.
what I've been playing is Mass Effect.
Yay, me too. Sorry, just want to high five you on that. So virtual high five. Psh,
Yep. I decided to
Until
go
she
back and
disagrees
redo
about
it.
Fallout.
Well,
I know, right?
no, I went back and I decided to play some Mass Effect, and it's really freaking cool. First time I played it, I didn't really
Yes.
spend a whole lot of time going through and doing all the side missions. So this
Shame
time
on
now
you.
that I'm playing it, I'm like, all right, let's go. Time to traverse the traverse.
Oh, gosh.
Yes.
And that is how the cookie crumbles.
I feel like she said she was playing Mass Effect just to say that pun, though. Are
Quite
you actually playing Mass
possibly.
Effect? Are you
I
actually?
have
what?
been. I have been. I have
Sugar-
Commander Shepard. She has red hair. Her neck is huge. It's great.
Ew, why is her neck
You-
huge?
I always
could say-
forget to switch the neck. And it like starts off with the neck being like 4 inches or something. I don't know what it is, but like Commander Shepard in the first game has a freaking giraffe neck.
Well,
And so
it
like
makes
I'm looking
sense.
at my but I'm like looking at my character and I'm like, oh man, this character's really cool. And then it like starts to pan in and I'm like, stop. Oh god. The neck. Make it stop.
The neck.
One could say Commander Shepard shepherds his crew.
Well, that is probably
That's-
why they
I'm
named him
pretty sure
Shepard.
that's why he's named Shepard. dude.
Yeah.
I think that's the actual reason.
I think that's canon. I think that is actually
think it's
canon.
Is it, did
I'm
they come out
pretty
with
sure that's the meaning.
Yeah.
Did they come out with the definitive canon and say Shepard was named after his ability to shepherd his crew?
I wouldn't be surprised. Technically, Shepard is shepherding in a new age. So,
No,
Mm.
stop it. We're done using
well,
the
that
name.
wasn't a pun. That was just me explaining like the idea behind his name being Shepard. He's shepherding in a new age. So that would be
I think
why.
it was more of he was mass number of people kind of follow him, like mass number of people follow Jesus, who was a shepherd kind of thing. I think would be more closely related. Just
also, it just sounds cool.
But I guess the New Age fits too. You know, New Age shepherding New Age. It's like a tagline. Yeah.
What were you gonna say, Monica or Darkovika?
I think I sort of touched on everything.
Okay.
Yeah, I collected a whole bunch of Ever After High books because I like that stuff.
Okay.
What? What did she say?
I
She
said
collected something.
I collected a whole bunch of Ever After High books because I like that web series.
Wait, is that based off of like that Drew Barrymore movie?
No, not even a little bit. It's based off of. It's based off.
I think you're.
Well, I mean, I guess technically it's sort of related. It's based off of fairy tales like Snow White, Cinderella, Alice in Wonderland, and it takes place in like a school designed for these fairy tale characters, except it's the fairy tale characters' kids. And it's like a web series of like 2-minute long episodes, and it has a book series, and I literally have every single book, all 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All 12 books that are out.
Nice.
That's a lot of books.
I think that's more books than I've had in my entire life, actually.
And about 4 of them are activity books.
Hey, man, don't hate.
Reading is amazing. So, shall we go to our superhero section?
Yeah, let's go. Let's transfer or transition to the hero section.
Let's traverse the hero section.
Let's traverse into the traverse.
Oh, okay. Let's discuss heroes and powers.
You're a towel.
So, what was the topic exactly that was surrounding superpowers?
Okay, well,
I think it was just
I'll corral this a little bit and shepherd this discussion. So just to keep things from going off of going off on rails or whatever, I'm gonna provide some criteria to follow. It's it's a combination of 2 powers that you would have as a superhero, but it can't be anything like controlling everything or anything kind of far-fetched. It has to be 2 basic level powers, and when I say basic, it'll just be like flying and shooting energy or something. So
right.
It has to be just 2 basic levels of powers that work in tandem with each other, and it can't be all-encompassing like I control the universe. So
no.
So who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
Ladies first.
Okay. So, I mean, a superhero, I don't know if this falls into simple superpower, but every time I've ever been asked what superpower I would have, it was always the ability to stop time, even if it was only for like maybe 30 minutes or something. Which doesn't make any sense, but we'll pretend that it does. Yeah,
but
that
would
was the one.
Would anybody be able to resist it?
I guess the way that I always thought about it was anybody touching me or hanging on to me would not be affected by it. And then if I had to have a nemesis, obviously it would have to be someone who exists outside of time. Or if we wanted to get really in depth and kind of go all Pokemon
like
here
for
a second, we could say someone that was like
the Doctor.
Yeah, Doctor Who. He wouldn't. I would say somebody who is more like a space. I don't mean like outer space. I mean like something that takes up space but is not affected by time. Like in Pokemon, you know how there's Dialga and Palkia from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl?
I don't know Pokemon.
Oh, okay,
no
give me a
clue what
sec.
you're talking about right now.
Alright, so in Pokemon Diamond and Pearl, because this explains the idea, there were 2 Pokemon. There's Palkia, which controlled space. It was a space god. And that's not outer space. It's sort of like space. It warped dimensions. It warped space.
Time and space.
Exactly. There you go. And then Dialga controlled time, which they were the 2 opposing god figures, demigod figures of time and space. and that was the concept.
You would
Yeah,
you
he
would do
would-
something to the space, the fabric of space, to disrupt you enough so that you would kind of like get like hit on the head a little bit, and then you lose focus enough where time starts again or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Or he could be a complete just creepy guy, kind of like Lex Luthor, and probably take some of your DNA and probably infuse it with his own. That way, whenever you do your time shifting, it just doesn't affect him because he has a piece
At
of
least not as much. That would be interesting because it's like only moderate DNA, so it's like when time
Exactly.
stops, he's like slowly moving forward.
Or just like
And
conscious, of what's going on or something.
And I know it's only one power, but I think that's kind of enough for a superhero.
Well, I think it bridges on the on like all encompassing. To be quite honest, like
Yeah.
like.
But it
Professor
would have
X
to be
can
limited.
freeze people in place. Just with the mind, he's not freezing time. He's just kind of like making everybody stop in their tracks.
Yeah.
So controlling time would
I-
would probably be more all-encompassing than it is a basic level power, to be honest.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. But that was the one that I always answered with. If not that one, it would definitely be something along the lines of druid. Like I'd be some type of druid, control plants, like poison ivy status,
Oh,
but also
interesting.
like animals. Yep. So be able to communicate with animals,
Okay.
be able to communicate with plant life,
Like
that
a
sort of
Spriggan.
stuff. Yep, there you go. Or a nymph. Nymph, Spriggan, there's one more that I'm thinking about. It's not nymph. Nymphs are tied to their trees.
Ents.
An ent is a tree.
Well, yeah. I mean, you could control the trees too, and
Yeah.
the
Just
vines
walk
and stuff.
with the tree,
Oh, there's another one that I'm thinking of that I can't pull off the bat.
Okay, well, think about working in tandem with that power. So, if you were to control nature, control trees, animals, and all kinds of nature-based mythological creatures, how would
My headphones
your
go out
second-
at literally the worst point. It's when you're about to ask me a question. My headphones went right out, and I missed all of that.
Okay, what's the last thing I said?
You were like, all right, so think of in tandem with your powers, and then it just dead.
Okay, just basically think about your nature-based abilities to controlling animals and mythological creatures of that nature, and think about a power that would, supplement it well, work well with it in combination, and stuff like that.
It'd probably be, let's see, I guess I'm not sure I understand the question. Something that supplements the ability to control plants and animals as a power?
Well, no, you could be any power, any two powers. I'm just suggesting.
Think of
Like,
it like this: as a firebender,
that the
you
two
can
powers,
bring
though?
fire,
I-
but the supplement power to that is the ability to control lightning as well.
Well, wouldn't the two powers be control nature, control animals?
You could declare those two different abilities. That's fine with the
Or we want just that one? Because, I mean, they're supplementary. That was the idea. All right, if they're going off of one, that's one power is
I feel
control.
like they're separate. I can see that though.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, is that they were separate. But if I was to choose one more, I guess I'm solar powered.
You're
can dig
solar
that.
powered.
Yeah,
You can
so when
use
the
solar
sun
beam
is
on it.
out, yeah, I can use solar beam. When the sun is out,
Oh, you're-
I'm
so
more
you're kinda
strong
like
or
Superman.
something. I guess so, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's cool. Oh, Superman.
Well, see, now that falls into the territory of all encompassing as well.
Does it? Just
Right, so-
being like slightly powered more by the sun?
Well, no,
I
I'm
wouldn't say
talking
that's
about
all-encompassing.
Superman.
No, I was just making a joke 'cause
Superman.
Superman is Superman. But no, I mean, if it just makes her towers last longer, or I guess more effective, then I wouldn't say it's all-encompassing. It makes sense. I mean,
Yeah,
if you control
yeah.
plants, the sun would benefit you in some way. I mean, I feel sun
Yeah,
and water.
like not chloroform. Jesus. That's that
Chlorophyll?
chemical we learned that's in
Photosynthesis?
plants. Yeah, that one. Photosynthesis.
Photosynthesis is not a chemical. I thought that was a process.
Yeah, that's an act. That's a
Guys,
thing.
Darkovika is not going around and date raping people with chloroform.
No,
We swear.
no, I'm not. Here's
That would be
that's
uber
our
creepy.
official statement.
I just wanted to throw it out there about Superman. For anybody listening, if you ever have this discussion with any of your friends and they say, oh, well, the power I would have was Superman, that's a cop-out. And that's
Yeah.
totally stupid, and you should never say that ever again.
I
Or Batman, for
completely
example.
agree.
Well, see, and the thing is, like saying I had the Superman power is not even a power. That's
Yeah, it's a
like,
series
I would
of
take it as you want his
powers.
face or something. That's just weird. Like I want Superman. Like
That
you
is
want his
creepy.
face. Like
That's villain
You know what
level
I
right
mean?
there. Besides, who wants
You
to
know
be
what I mean?
Superman? The dude's a jerk.
He is.
honestly, if I had to choose, I'd be General Zod because at least that way I was taught to fight, and then I could be Superman. You know, because let's be honest, Superman can't fight to save his life. His moves suck. He's just
He's
super
very
strong, so one
primal.
punch.
Yeah, he's very
one
primal.
punch
His
just does his work.
fighting, his no planning. He just Hulk smash, but like with a little more
Seriously.
intelligence.
But you know, sad to say though, I think Hulk is more effective.
Yeah, Hulk is more effective. I would love to see Superman go against the Hulk. That would be amazing.
He'd take him. He'd
Oh yeah, the Hulk. I feel like the Hulk. It would be like Loki from the Avengers. The Hulk would
No,
just
I
grab
actually-
Superman
I
and
meant
just whip him
Superman
back
would
and
take the
forth.
Hulk.
Oh, you mean Superman would take the Hulk?
No, I would have to
Yeah.
disagree.
I don't know.
I don't know. I
he
think
could.
it'd be really funny.
well,
I think
they're
it'd be a
based-
tie.
They're based in two different universes, so you can't really compare it like
Of
you would
course
compare
not, I
apples to
mean-
apples. But Hulk,
Yeah.
but the idea around Hulk is that he is unstoppable, and the angrier he gets, the more
The
powerful,
more powerful
he gets.
he gets,
So
which is why he's
so
never
when-
supposed to
in-
meet Spider-Man.
yeah, so in terms of potential, both Superman and Hulk have limitless potential because it all comes down to how angry Hulk is and how powerful Superman wants to let go. Because everybody always talks about strength and endurance and all that, but I always like to talk about potential. And we all know Superman holds back, and then we all know how he's written in his feats, like he freaking tows planets on like his Sunday afternoon. But Hulk,
Okay, well, can Hulk breathe in space? That's the only thing I have to ask. If he can breathe in space, then he can go toe to toe with Superman. But if he can't breathe in space, then I
Well, he
give the fight
can't
to
fly,
Superman.
so Superman. I mean, unless Superman wanted to try and pick up the Hulk and take him into outer space and be absolutely cruel about it.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I
like,
mean,
if the
we
fight
don't
came down
know.
to it, yeah,
like
okay.
in the cinematic universe, we don't know at that point. But in the comics, you know, Planet Hulk is not like Earth. So,
But we're assuming it has an atmosphere, though. So it's what we're going.
Yeah.
So, you know.
but we're
Who
Who
also,
knows?
but I'm also assuming that you know, Planet Hulk and the Hulk itself has some form of endurance when it comes to
Right.
space, because if you literally can't choke him or suffocate him, he's just gonna get angrier and angrier. You know, so I don't know like how he would do in space, but I doubt he would let himself be thrown into space if that were a danger to him, because remember when Bruce Banner tried to commit suicide, the Hulk didn't let him do it. So
I mean, I know, and the way I'm looking at it is if, you know, the fight's going on and Superman were to manage to knock him so hard that he, you know, breaks atmosphere. And my question is, can Hulk survive? Because he can't be knocked unconscious because it's been done before. So if he can lose consciousness, I'm assuming in space that might be, it's just like drowning Wolverine, you know, it's like he doesn't really float. So, well, you know.
well, I'd say, you know, on a more like technical level, they're more equal, but when it comes to space, you know, anything is, you know, a lot of things go out of the door.
All right.
So, Catch-22,
What?
your powers.
Oh, my powers. Okay, so mine, they do and don't work in tandem. Because one is really just because I think it'd be really cool to do. and the other one is because I don't know, it just looks cool. But so for my first power, I thought it was always awesome how they would have those mutants, or if you've seen Man with the Iron Fist, or you've seen like Ben 10, you know, when they touch certain metal alloys, their skin takes that.
You mean Kevin Levin?
Yeah, Kevin Levin. I couldn't remember his name, but I was just like, it's Kevin something. But
I know
they
my
touch
Ben
certain
10
metal alloys, and their skin takes the you know the
properties of the metal that they're touching.
Yeah, exactly. I thought that was
so
really
Kevin
cool.
Levin, if he touches copper, he turns into copper.
Yeah, like I'm about to get mugged, and like I'm carrying just like, you know, like he has a pallet of metals on him, like on his keys. I would just do that. And I think that's like freaking awesome. So you get these two guys or however many people walking up on you, and next thing you know, you're like as, you know, strong as like, you know, as dense as titanium, and you're just like, let's go, you know. So
yeah,
that power,
yeah, that's a kicking ability.
Is really neat. You know what I mean? I think it's really cool because like I would just kind of. Honestly, I'd be the guy who runs into like ongoing traffic, like, you know, after touching titanium, and just goes and like punches a car in just to do it, and then run off like nothing happened, or walk away.
So
like
you mean happened. A villain?
No, I wouldn't hurt anyone, but like it would just be a one-time thing. Like if I was walking, I would just go,
punching a car while someone's in it, and, you know, that's not gonna hurt anyone.
Okay, first, they'd be fine. I do it like.
All right, ma'am. I'm really sorry about that. Are you all right? You are? Okay, I'm gonna punch your car again, okay?
Cool.
Okay, cool. Punch!
Okay, so that's like a question that I had. If you inherited the properties of titanium or any kind of metal or substance, for example, do you inherit the strength and their tensile strength?
Yeah, you would have the durability of the metal. So like if
you wouldn't feel pain, so your strength would be increased. Because you'd be made of a metal.
Yeah, basically. Like, you kind of, you know, like, if you look at Spider-Man, how his body was mutated to take on the properties of a spider. Like, the spiders have a proportionate strength compared to their body size, so that's why he's super strong. It's basically like how dense my body is. My BMI, so my body mass index, is altered with that of the metal, so it's proportionate. So however dense the metal is and can be, you know, how much pressure it can push per square inch is, you know, calculated throughout my body. So yeah, I would get, you know, the extra boost to strength or whatever I decided to do. I would definitely headbutt someone too. That'd be really fun. But yeah.
Well, the reason I ask is that someone like Wolverine, for example, who's grafted with adamantium, he obviously needs all of that strength to lift his 800-pound skeletal structure.
Right.
So
I'm sure it exists somewhere, but I want to watch someone be like, "I'll pick you up, puny man," and they try to pick up Wolverine, and it's just like, "Oh, what did you eat, puny man?" And Wolverine's just like, "I ate a ton of metal," and just like punches him.
So that's your first power?
That is my first power. Now my second one, like I said, this is purely for the sake of just awesome fun, and I like Shazam's powers, or Captain Marvel, whichever you go by, but without turning into an older gentleman, because that's just weird. But I want to be able to like run out in the middle of nowhere, yell Shazam, have lightning hit me, and be like supercharged. Like, it's just the coolest thing ever. I just think it's awesome.
Shazam!
Like, you know, being able to, like, let's say, turn my body into whatever metal that conducts, you know, some good, like the best metal to conduct electricity, run out, hold on to something, yell Shazam, and watch that thing just, like, eviscerate is a cool combo in itself. So if I'm in a video game, right, my character is straight up, you know, in a game, I can see that combo just working out in general. Just boom, Shazam, shock, boom, that thing is eviscerated. So I just, that's, like, my second one. Of course, you know, I would be able to conduct electricity with that.
I think
so
Shazam...
like I could easily...
Go
ahead.
I think there's a Shazam mod for Skyrim where you could play Shazam.
Don't get me excited. Don't get me excited.
No, I think that was the other one. No, I think there is another, just like my Flash mod. Yeah, do it, bruh. Tell me.
No.
I want it, and I'm gonna play it, and I'm gonna go around screaming Shazam, and just it's gonna be
I'm
awesome.
sure that it is, because that sounds like a shout, so that would be really cool.
Exactly. As long as lightning hits me and my fists start like with balls of like electricity on them, I'm just so
balls of steel.
what do you mean by supercharged?
Basically, you know how things like have like static electricity between them, something like that. Basically, kind of like that. Like I could. It's hard to explain. By yelling Shazam, so I get hit by lightning. Since I conduct it, I can basically transfer that energy to something else. So essentially, fire it or hold it in and charge, and then release it. As like a conductor, basically, like I said, conductor.
Like Kamehameha.
Oh, God. Give me your energy. Yeah, kind of like that.
Or infamous. You would take the power and then expel it.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said, a conductor, you take it and then you transfer, and then you can either release it however you want to. I could just explode with electricity, just let out a huge shockwave, or multiple ways, depending on how supercharged I am, I guess you could say.
Yeah, I was thinking when you said supercharged, like, oh, here's another Superman power. Like,
no.
Because Shazam is, like, on that level when he transforms.
But yeah, the thing is, I feel like with most of my energy really coming from whatever metal I touch, I will never really reach like Superman level. Like if we fought, I could take his hits, but I think in the long run he would have me beat.
You know what would be really interesting is if you turned into if you were metal and then you did Shazam.
Oh yeah, he was talking about that as like a superconductor.
Friggin' explode.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like I can superconduct that, and then like if you play Injustice, like Superman actually grabs Shazam by the neck and he gets ready to shout Shazam because that's when he conducts that huge bolt of electricity and he basically knocks Superman unconscious. That's basically how it would do it. But with being a superconductor, it would just kind of like increase that. So like I was saying, I would eviscerate the item I was holding, which would be just freaking awesome.
Yeah.
I am angry at this remote control. Shazam!
I have words though for you and your. I would take Superman's hits because that is lame.
What do you mean?
Listen, this guy and his infinite mass punch. There would be no way. Just inheriting the properties of steel or a metal.
See, that's what I'm saying. Like, it wouldn't be.
It depends on the metal.
I'm saying
he could inherit the properties of kryptonite.
True.
Well, is kryptonite a metal?
It doesn't necessarily.
It's a malleable metal. I don't know. Anyway,
it's an element.
It's a mineral, isn't it?
It's a mineral.
Not sure.
I'm just saying though, like with Earth's hardest metal, I could probably, like I said, it can take maybe one or two punch depending on how bad he's holding back. But the idea of fighting a Superman was like, obviously, don't get hit. And yeah, he's super fast. So my thing would be I would hit him first with like a supercharged bolt, and after that, I'm kind of SOL. So like I said, I couldn't really take Superman one-on-one. But as far as being a valuable team member, probably, he can't yell Shazam and get cool lightning bolts. So
yeah, especially if it's magic based.
There you go. See?
Wow. Well, I feel like you guys have not thought about transportation at all.
No, I have, but I'm telling you, dude.
Are you kidding me? I control plant life.
I've narrowed down. She can just move like she can figure it out. But
yeah, I'll figure it out.
I'm like, dude, electricity and metal. Like I thought that was the coolest thing. In worst case scenario, I'll just drive a car. Like I'm okay with that.
And I mean, really, if he wants to, he could use his electricity to travel across like railroad tracks or anything metal.
Well, and my thing is you look at static, and it's like being able to magnetize things using electricity and, the power to make myself valuable in different ways. I could probably just, make a floating sewer disc and be like, haha. So
trash can lid.
Now you're going from yelling Shazam and having a lightning bolt come down and charge you to controlling electricity.
No, I'm just saying, if I'm sitting on top of one and I do it correctly, I'm assuming that's possible. It would be one of those things where it's like I need to figure out what are the capabilities of this power, but for the most part, my biggest application would be yelling Shazam, just so the crowd is like, "What the hell just happened?" And I'm just like, "I'm just charged." That's what to know.
Interesting.
And then I just run away. But I mean, like I said, if you can say Shazam and like I said, with the metal body, you conduct it, so I'm sure you could figure out some way of doing cool transportation. And if not, like I said, I'll just get in the car.
Hey, Darkovika, I need a ride.
Hey, Darkovika, can you give me a hand here? Yeah, sure. Just hop on the tree. The tree starts running.
Hop on the branch. We got some room. Well, I thought of it, and one of my powers is teleportation.
Lame.
Oh, please.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding.
I don't need no adapting or inheriting the powers of metal. I could go through it. I
thought you too slow to travel like normal people.
Hey, Kevin.
Hey.
Yeah.
It is Shazam. It's on Steam. It's a workshop mod.
Yes.
But it is Shazam.
Okay, well, we'll save that for after.
Yeah. But anyways, go ahead, Peter. So you'd have teleportation.
I would have, I would have a form of teleportation in which I could actually phase my body. So it is kind of like a form of super speed, if you will.
Wait. Do you mean like Kitty in X-Men, or like the movie Jumper where he sees the place and bam, wormhole? Because I think that's a huge difference of what you can do there when you say phase through things.
I would say it's a mix of Nightcrawler and Quicksilver.
Okay.
Because Quicksilver can he's not as fast as the Flash, but he can vibrate himself fast enough to phase out of like a reality for a short period of time and kind of teleport, whereas, you know, obviously Nightcrawler he can teleport to where he sees. So I think in a sense to keep a form of constraint on it, it would be anywhere I could see. But it has two purposes. One, it's obviously transportation, and like if I see a building, I'll teleport on top of it or whatever. But two, I could also teleport inside somebody and explode them from the inside. Interesting. I could even teleport inside someone that's metal and probably trap myself inside something that's metal.
Or get shocked to all hell. Yeah, be
like,
careful with that one, man.
What are you doing inside? Shazam!
Shazam! Just like, well, that happened.
Yeah, so I would teleport, and I would have to take the easy way out and probably use Gambit's powers, which is kinetic energy, the mastery of kinetic energy, and being able to bring out the latent and potential energy of any object that I touch.
That's cool.
And so I could just touch you, and if you're already charged, bring out the potential energy in that and kind of throw you into, you know, dark side or something and
Bada bang, bada
explode
boom.
her.
Well, you gotta remember though, like my body can handle my supercharged explosion. That's what I said when I get supercharged, I can release it any way. As a conductor, if you supercharge me again, I could just blow up like a nuke and just take out a whole, you know, whatever block and look around like, oops, you know. So
That's true too, man. We're like more like the Avengers, the new Avengers of 2015.
There we go.
Devastating
That's
combination
all we
of
need.
people.
There's only 3 of us.
And you know, whenever we're hungry in a post-apocalyptic world that Catch accidentally nuked,
With his crazy
we can eat
Shazam
the
powers.
branches.
Well, Monica can grow a lot of veggies, so I think we'll be okay.
Yeah.
Yep, I can create a farm. See? There we go. I would be the best hero because then I could go to third world countries and be like, you don't have food? Guess what? Bam! Now you have food.
Monica veggies.
Her first
Be a whole
comic, The
bunch.
Astonishing Tales. She summons lettuce.
Yep. I'd be like, there's a new hero. She summoned food for the third world country, blah, blah, blah. And everyone's
Okay.
like, she summons food. And I'm like, y'all are freaking violent.
Well, you know, okay. Well,
My question though is for Peter. It's your teleportation power, because here's where I get a little like, okay, how does this work? Because if you watch, I think it was X-Men Origins, or Wolverine Origins, whatever that one was. He fights the black guy who teleports, and you pretty much wait till he put his hand where he was going to be at. So when he teleported, he got him by the spine. So when you're teleporting, are your molecules rearranging, or how's that working? Because if you do that into someone, then
that might go poorly.
You can't manipulate. You see what I mean? You can't manipulate someone else's molecules if that's the way it's going. So like how? That's what I was asking. Like if you're Kitty, she can walk through you, but she can't possess you because you're not a ghost or a spectral item. So how does that work?
Well,
you see what I mean?
like I said, it would be a mix of seeing where you're going and a mix of Quicksilver, which is basically phasing out of reality. So I'm not rearranging my molecules at all.
Well, how would you phase in? Because if there's someone standing where you want to phase in, things are going to go badly.
You see what I mean?
Right? Because,
that's what I'm saying.
obviously you can't, like, two pieces of matter can't occupy the same space and time or whatever, but I don't know the science of the shit, dude.
Well, that's what I'm saying, because like, let's say you go out there and you're thinking, okay, if I teleport inside this person, I can make him explode, but then you teleport inside of him and you just explode because you couldn't materialize, correctly, because one of the bodies are going to win. That's what I was saying. Like, if you do it, especially if I'm supercharged and, you're moving with kinetic powers, and which, lightning is nothing but energy anyway, that kind of connectability, that could just result in a catastrophic just kaboom. And like I said, I know my body can handle that kind of kinetic power because I'm a conductor. So I was like, if we do that, or if you do that to anything certain, like, how does that work? So I was kind of curious on how you're looking at it, but I mean, like I said, science.
Well,
so
it all comes down to knowing the limitations of your powers. And so if that was if that was a concern at all to me, then I wouldn't teleport into anybody.
Right.
I would primarily use it as like kind of like a fighting tactic where, I'm here, nope, I'm over there. So it comes down to transportation and just basically moving around really quickly in an instant rather than having to move around and kind of run around. I probably wouldn't use it in the context in which I said I would have. It just sounded cool at the time. But but under normal circumstances, I would just totally use my kinetic powers, and since kinetics is energy in motion, that enhances my agility, it enhances my movement, and so on and so forth. Kind of like Gambit, but
okay, I have a power kind of like Shazam, so it's cool.
I mean, it's not all encompassing; it's just kinetic energy.
No, not at all. Totally. I think with what we've created right now, we make for a pretty good team and a pretty good free-for-all. If we all just got pissed off and started fighting in the middle of the city, it'd be quite interesting. Although, I have to say, Monica, your plans probably wouldn't last very long against a huge bolt of lightning.
I wouldn't win against either of you, more than likely. If I had to pick any other abilities, though, I'd pick Ben 10. You mentioned Ben 10, and I was like, oh, watch that turns me into aliens? Yes! And that's that.
Well, that's power. That's a gadget, though. It's a gizmo.
It's connected to his DNA.
Interesting.
And then
what would you turn into?
I see Darkovika's power source as more of like a support.
Yeah, I'd definitely be a supporting role.
Because
I'd be throwing nuts and bolts with like energy on them and like exploding, and then you would obviously be throwing lightning or whatever have you, and then she'd be like, guys, who wants salad?
No.
I mean, essentially,
I'm sorry,
not to pick on Monica, but just this last comment came to me. But essentially, you have two heroes and then Aquaman.
But Aquaman's amazing.
Trust me, yeah,
I kind of get where he's going with this.
But you see what I mean? Like if
you're
look
fighting
at it
in a city.
Value,
oh, I see what you're saying.
If you're fighting in a city where there's no nature around, you're kind of at a disadvantage. Although I could teleport you.
There's
in
always
a nature setting.
There's always nature around. That is where you are wrong.
Well, see,
there's
and
dirt
that's what I'm
beneath
saying.
the concrete.
That's
all
what I'm
I
saying.
need.
Like she in theory, depending on how strong she is, like if the sun's really out, like if we're fighting in LA, she probably has an advantage because the sun's out and it's beaming down. She's probably like supercharged and she's like
I'm like
throwing
the
stuff
worst
at
case
the rate
scenario.
I can throw,
Yeah, I'm the
You know what I
worst
mean?
case scenario. You guys are down and out, and then I freaking stand up and I'm like, it's kind of sunny today, and then freaking and then like freaking just start shooting like spiky pieces of wood through the concrete that just like snatch enemies out of the space.
Yeah, that's true. Wood.
Yeah, it's still an offensive ability. And then, of course,
I'm imagining Plants vs. Zombies, where, like, you know, potted plants start coming to life and start walking around her and stuff like that.
No.
Because what I'm assuming, with her power, she knows of plants that maybe we haven't discovered yet, kind of thing.
Exactly.
And she can make them do anything. But I'm just saying, like, as far as
there's also the fact that would
fight. But
oh yeah, and then I would be able to make poisons because if I'm completely aware of plants, then I can just make a plant that's poisonous grow, turn it into a poison, coat an arrow with it or a sword, and bada bang, bada boom. Whether or not I have a weapon is irrelevant.
Now you're a villain, but you can't penetrate my skin though, so haha.
Well, I'm not a villain to you guys. I'd be on your side. I'd just be, you know, without morals because I'm more wild.
We're in a whole new territory with weapons. I would have a bow and arrow.
Well, that's if I wanted one, because again, I could just
don't be like that.
Well, no. What I mean is, if I wanted a weapon, it falls within my category. I can grow wood to make a bow, the curve of the bow. I can get, well, it's a gut string, which is kind of awkward, but whatever. And then feathers from a bird.
You could make cordage from like palm fronds and stuff too.
There we go. Handled.
I feel like you could just shoot them from a plant because you have like
I could do that too, yeah.
The plants that shoot the thorns, you know, so it's like.
Yep.
You know.
Or those things that shoot that spit seeds.
That's what I mean. You know, she could just easily spit like a detonating seed or something. I don't know, but I'm sure there's a lot of applications that we would have to, like I said, train for. I mean, the calling down lightning in itself is different, and teleporting has all kinds of applications depending on, you know, which matter is moved once you materialize or whatever. But I was just like, from face value, you essentially have like two guys shooting lightning, or one guy shooting lightning, one guy blowing stuff up, and then like Aqualad at face value, of course. But like I said, you know, you get down into it, each power has like their own applications, because essentially, I mean, like I said, you could push me into a thing of water. If I'm titanium, I'm sitting down there like, well, I can't swim, so I'm kind of SOL. So it's all kinds of, you know.
Yeah, we're all kind of in our kind of, niche environments, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm more versatile, but we won't get into that.
Okay.
Okay then. Whatever.
Hey, stop it.
Stop it.
Shazam.
There you go. Just like that.
All right. I think we are 7 minutes over when we
we are.
Yep. So we should probably call it an end.
All right. Well, that is going to wrap it up. Thank you guys for listening. Like and subscribe this podcast if you haven't already. Thanks again to WinKid for the topic suggestions. If you guys have any more suggestions for next episode, leave them in the comments below. Darkovika.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening. Just like Peter said, or I mean, Element, whatever. Just like Element said, everybody leave a like, subscribe, check out that Shazam mod for Skyrim, and we'll see you guys next time. I love you all very, very much, and ta-ta. What?
Bye-bye.
Catch 22.
Well, for me, it's just laters, because I already talked about my mod, and so, like I said, you catch it on Nexus. We'll probably provide a link in the description. So make sure you click on it, give it a like, download it if you play New Vegas. It's awesome. Great radio station. Enjoy. You guys have a wonderful weekend.
You know.
Oh yeah. Also in the comments, if you want to include your powers as well, and
please do
join the discussion.
Yeah, let us know what powers you would have and how you first started gaming. Also, that's an interesting
really
concept.
awesome.
If we did a podcast episode where we pretended we were in a Fallout universe and it was a radio station.
I want to do it. Called it Awesome Sauce.
Okay, yeah, that's cool.
Yes.
That's cool. Sorry, guys, don't suggest anything.
Well, let's do it this way. Well, that'll be the main topics of Fallout 1, but it will, you know, go ahead and suggest your powers and how you would use them, and according to the way we did it. And if it's really awesome enough, we'll talk about your powers and probably crush them like we did everyone else's powers on the show. So
crush each other's powers.
That sounds good.
So post comments, post some suggestions, post some powers, post your stories, post a hi. Everybody comment potato. There we go.
Nice.
That's the
nailed it.
That's the stream thing.
I do love potatoes.
Whenever I'm checking for lag. All right, guys, post potato, and then I just start counting.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.